Why are you yelling at me?
Grab the Odyssey app from your app store and stream KDAWN anytime, anywhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Good morning, Las Vegas. What's going on? Welcome to the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. Also streaming on that Odyssey app, AUDACY. Download that app now. And maybe Seth Rollins won't cash in on you to steal a world championship. But get that app right now. Terrific shows all over the place. AUDACY. Also live streaming, YouTube, X, Facebook. On X at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook and YouTube. The Mark Hoke Show. You can get in there and tell us what you thought of day one of SummerSlam. And so much more. Man, news all over the place. They got a bunch of new champions all over the indie scene. I mean, just crazy stuff going on. But we want to bring in the two super goofballs of the show as soon as I do one thing. There we go. That's better. And let's get them on the board right now. First, from Austin, Texas. I don't know what he weighs. I don't really care. Stu Myrick from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Stu, what's up?
Goofball.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess a little bit.
Yeah. Well, we're
By the way, it's preseason football season.
Ugh. Can't worry about
Those
it yet.
Chargers look good Thursday night.
Hey, my man
Lance.
Trey Lance.
Yep.
Somebody's got to
Former
pick him
Dallas
up.
Cowboy. He looked good.
Yeah.
And, of course, Lake Travis Cavalier and lifetime Longhorn Cameron Dicker on point.
Dicker the kicker, everybody.
Dicker the kicker. I was there when that name was created.
Very nice. Very nice.
You got that name in high school.
Yeah, got to be careful when you say that name on the radio. Let's also bring in from adfreeshows.com. Haven't seen him for a while, but we're happy to have him back. Let's say hello to Coach Rosie, Josh Rosenbaum. What's up, big guy?
Man, it's been a wild July, but I am happy to be back. School starts tomorrow. I'm one of those goofballs that bet the Hall of Fame game. I took the over. It was 33, and, it's gambling season. It's football season. Yeah. Let's get it on. We had a great SummerSlam, and happy to get back into the swing of things.
Yeah, and by the way, buying Scoop got the first comment in, by the way. Mark, Stu, Coach, Scoop. What's up, brother?
Hi, by the way, Coach, you said you were at the Hall of Fame game in Canton? Did you say that?
No, I just gambled on it.
Oh, okay.
I'm a degenerate.
So 15 years ago, my very first reporting gig in sports radio just happened to be the 2010 Pro Football Hall of Fame induction. That was the class with none other than Emmitt Smith and Jerry Rice.
Wow.
It was pretty damn good. It was a pretty damn good class. John Randall.
Yeah, Emmitt Smith, a hell of a Arizona Cardinal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
great Cardinal. He might be known a little bit more for wearing the blue and silver, but, Jerry Rice. John Randall, long time, defensive star with the Vikings. Dick LeBeau, one of the greatest defensive coaches in the NFL. It was a really good class. That was a fantastic class. By the way, John Randall grew up a Texas high school product from Hearn, which is a little 3A school up to 79. It was, and he and I talked about that because we're both from 3A schools. But yeah, he came and went to it was Texas A&I at the time. Now at Texas A&M Kingsville.
There you go. Well, Stu, thank you for sharing that incredible experience with us. We appreciate it.
I know it's wrestling, but hey,
it's all good.
It's a little bit of a flex. I mean, I got to cover the Hall of Fame. Which is, by the way, if you're a football fan, you need to go to the Hall of Fame in Canton. It is.
I went there in, what was that? 1990. I was driving my car. I got a car from my grandparents. I was driving it from Pennsylvania back to Fargo, and made a bunch of stops, and Canton was one of them. Yeah, it is definitely a place to go for sure.
Mhm.
All right, well, let's get into the wrestling. And I guess, man, there is so much going on, but I suppose we should start with day one of SummerSlam, shouldn't we, gentlemen? You know, there's some mixed reviews on SummerSlam, but there's going to be a lot of fallout from some things that went on this weekend or today, and of course tomorrow or yesterday and tomorrow. Wow, I'm all over the place. I'm skipping today, which is day 2. We'll get into that in hour number 2.
It is Sunday, August 3rd, Mark. By the way, happy birthday to my little brother, Jason.
Oh, there you go.
He turns 54 today.
Nice. All right. So let's take a look at what happened yesterday. And, you know, but I'm going to focus on some things that happened outside the ring as we go through this too. The show opens up, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso take on Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Pretty decent match. I enjoyed it. Braun Breaker is awesome. And I don't know if there's any other way to put it. He did tweak his knee, it looked like. I don't know if you saw the videos, guys, but when they had to help him out of there. Now, the couple appearances that he made, one at the end of the day one, and then in the post show, it looked like they were taking he was wrapped less and less. So hopefully he's okay. But two things to me that come out of this match. One is, once again, Braun Breaker is a wrestling god. Of course, a Steiner kid, and just looked incredible in this match. What an athlete he is. Let me get your thoughts first on Braun Breaker, guys. And you know, how soon is it before this guy wins the world championship? I can't see any other road for the guy. Coach, let me start with you.
Yeah, definitely. The future is bright for WWE. They have a lot of young talent that are making instant impacts on their pay-per-views or premium live events. And Braun's the real deal. He's athletic as hell. He can do all the move sets. He can fly. He can pound. He could chop. He could kick. And he's a great throwback for us older guys of what we were so grateful to get in the 80s and the 90s. He's a special talent.
He's so fast. I mean, that's the one thing that blows me away about him is not only is he a powerhouse, but he's so quick and agile. You know, and I'm forgetting what part of the move was, but he threw one of the guys up and then dropped down and, you know, got his knees up at the same time. And I mean, just unbelievable what this guy can do. So, you know, Braun Breaker, just, man, he's going to be so special. You know, he may be more special than his uncle and his dad. Stu, another guy that I'm curious to see what the impact of all that has happened to him in the past few months is going to be, and that's Jey Uso. We've now had 4 different guys since WrestleMania win the world championship. And Jey Uso was, you know, wins the Rumble, wins the world title at WrestleMania. And I got to say, Stu, it looks like he is almost completely out of the world championship picture at this point. Where does he go? And, you know, he said on the post show, I may have gotten a little complacent, which I just can't believe that. That's ridiculous that he did that, if he did. But Jey is in a weird spot right now, Stu, and I don't know, with all these guys at the top of the card, how he's going to find his way back in there.
It's definitely a good problem to have, but it is a problem. And the problem is the Raw roster is stacked on the top side with Roman and Jey and Braun and Bronson and Seth and everybody, Gunther and Punk. I mean, it is a crowded main event scene there on Monday Night Raw. Jey Uso, it's gonna have to. There's gonna have to be some sort of feud he can sink his teeth in. I don't see him going after the world title because I think, as we'll discuss, I think there are going to be some contenders ahead of him. Is the IC title in his future? That's a possibility. Or does he reform the tag team with his brother and go after the tag titles? That almost seems like maybe just slightly the way to go. But yeah, it's just Jey Uso just is in a crowded main event scene, I think if they're not careful, he could get lost in the shuffle a little bit.
And if you watch WWE Unreal, which we're going to talk about some of the stuff on that later in the show, there was some hesitancy. They almost decided to not have him win the championship because he was getting blown up, which means he's getting winded and exhausted. He had that one botch in the lead up to WrestleMania and kind of had everybody shaking in their shoes a little bit. But Jey is in a weird spot, and he's a great guy to have open the show because of the enthusiasm. It gets the crowd going and the yeeting and everything else. But that's only going to carry you so far. So we'll see how all that turns out for Jey Uso, and Roman Reigns is in an interesting spot too, man. I mean, which direction are we going to go with Roman? I mean, I don't want to say he's lost in the shuffle either, because I can't imagine Roman's going to be lost, but man, Roman's in a tricky place at this point too, Coach.
Roman's got to kind of stay fluid with his outside opportunities in film in Hollywood. So they can't really book him for anything long-term. He's going to be gone for a lot of that Street Fighter stuff, resting up. But I think Roman's going to be an attraction for the near future. He'll be making his pop-ins here, there, and everywhere. I'd like to have him on weekly, but his career is going to places that he can only dream of with Hollywood and other ventures. So as much as I like to see him in there, I think he's kind of been moved away from that whole bloodline situation. They're going to kind of give that storyline to Sikoa now, Solo, and he'll just be an attraction. And he might latch on with this person, this storyline, that storyline, and when they need a pop a rating or bring the fans back, Roman will be back.
Yeah, Stu, is that where it is for Roman?
Yeah, that's the thing. When he signed his most recent deal with WWE, it was pretty well known it was going to be a part-time thing. That he's gonna take time to be with his family. Of course, he's got the opportunities in Hollywood. And yeah, like Coach said, it's going to be a matter of if they need something to, zhuzh a storyline or something. Well, here comes Roman, and then he'll go away for a little bit, And I think that, and I'm fine with that. You got to remember, Roman was a top for 4 years. That's Hogan type, endurance with all the matches and all the, everything. So yeah, let him take some time. Let him be a part-timer. And, if he's going to go do the Street Fighter, deal or whatever the movie is, I'm not a gamer. I don't know, but
oh, come on, Stu, you had to have played a little Street Fighter in the arcade.
Are you kidding? I had problems with Pac-Man when I was a kid.
Wow. Come on. Stu.
But let him have some fun. Let him come back when he wants, get a couple reps in, and then let him have a fun life.
Well, fair enough. We head to the second match on the card. I enjoyed this one too. Some people are kind of putting it in the 3-star range. I thought it was a little better than that. Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss win the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship from the Judgment Day. Raquel Rodriguez, Roxanne Perez. I thought this match was pretty solid, guys. I'm not going to put it in top tier, but it was pretty good. I enjoyed it, and we've got new tag team champions that we'll talk about in a sec. But Coach, what did you think of this one?
There was a story, and I always like a story when it comes to a match. Was it predictable? Yes. But the story of them not being friends continued through the match up until the pin, And then in the end of the match, when they got the titles, we had our we had our finish where they became friends. So all this storyline of them not getting along and trusting each other, we had where Alexa hit Charlotte, and we thought maybe there was going to be a turn, but they stuck with it, and we had the finish that I think most fans wanted with them winning the titles.
Stu, did you like the match?
Yeah, it did what it was supposed to do. It had, this allies of convenience thing with Charlotte and Alexa has been fun to watch. Charlotte has said she's having the most fun she's had in her career, which I tend to think that's probably legit. It's definitely reinvigorated her character for sure. I will say I do wonder what happens with Raquel and Roxanne going forward, because it did feel like maybe they lost the tag titles a little soon, but it's kind of one of those, I could have seen it going both ways, and I'm okay with it. So it'll be fun to see what happens with those two, and especially when Liv Morgan comes back, how that affects everything. But yeah, all in all, hey, let's, Charlotte and Alexa with tag titles. I think that could be a fun little, I don't see them having some sort of record-breaking long-term reign, but I could see it going for a little while. I still say they need to defend them in NXT more. If for no other reason, NXT is supposed to be the third brand, so let's do it to really solidify that notion.
Well, God,
I got a question for you two.
Fire away.
WWE's been hotshotting the titles a lot, and that's something that they haven't done in a long time. Just flip-flopping. Do you think that's the way that WWE is going to be going in the future with these new kind of fans that are looking for that adrenaline rush and don't really, care about the longevity of a title?
Oh, I think it depends who it is. I'll say, for example, in this situation with the women's tag titles, I wouldn't mind seeing those two teams hot shotted a little bit. I think that would be fun. Be a good test for this tag team with Charlotte and Alexa to see how well they hold up, and to keep the Judgment Day relevant. So I wouldn't be complaining about that. It really depends on the personality and if they want to keep somebody on top or not. So
yeah, I agree. It depends on the person, and it depends on the title itself. I think look, I've never been a fan of hot shotting titles because I think it denigrates them. But and I do agree a bit with what you just said, Coach, about fans nowadays, they're looking for the moment. They're not necessarily going to watch a 20-25 minute chain wrestling match. They want the moment. And WWE seems to be all about the moment. It's been my criticism last few weeks. They care more about celebrities than they do their own folks. So could it happen? Possibly. But again, I think it depends on the wrestler and it depends on the title.
Yeah. So fascinating idea there, Coach. All right, let's take a break, and when we come back. By the way, we're going to have more on Charlotte Flair later on, too. But we continue on reviewing SummerSlam Day 1. And I got to tell you, a very active day around SummerSlam. A lot of championships changing hands. All sorts of crazy stuff going on out there. Holy buckets. But that's what we do here on the Mark Hoke Show. We'll have it all covered for you. Coach Rosie, Stu Myrick, and myself will be right back.
Hi, I'm Sherry Harris, owner of LifeSource Water. Vegas water is notoriously hard. It damages pipes, wears down appliances, and is terrible to drink. With the LifeSource Whole House Water System, you get filtered, conditioned water from every tap without salt. From Summerlin to Henderson, we've thrilled your neighbors for over 40 years. Upgrade your water today by calling 1-800-WATER-99 or visit LifeSourceWater.com. LifeSource, taste and feel the difference.
Warranty limitations apply.
Hey there, this is Dolly, coming to you straight from Nashville.
It's Stand Up to Cancer!
Join us Friday, August 15th for one night only and for one goal only to beat cancer. So stand up with all of us and let's save lives together. And if we join forces, we can end cancer forever. Tune in Friday, August 15th at 8, 7 Central on ABC, CBS, Fox, and NBC. For more ways to watch, visit standuptocancer.org/show.
Empower.
Jen has ordered a decadent seafood tower, king crab legs, lobster tails, and a waterfall of caviar. Pricey? You bet. But Jen worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy and planned for splurges like these. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Ooh, champagne. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OMG, those shrimps are really jumbo.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group. 1015 FM KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
All right, let's get back to it. Best in pro wrestling news and entertainment on the Mark Hoke Show. I've got Stu Myrick from Sports Guys Talking Wrestling in Austin, Texas. By the way, his show is available on the Odyssey app as well. So that gives you a second reason to download that Odyssey app. And Coach Rosie from Ad Free shows all sorts of terrific programming over there as well. Man, you got Arn Anderson and Jeff Jarrett and Eric Bischoff and so many others in that network. So make sure you check that out at adfreeshows.com. All right, let's get to the next battle at SummerSlam. Oh, and Vegas is interested in this one. As Sami Zayn knocks off Karrion Kross. And, you know, match was fine. Didn't have any real issues with the match, except for who won. And I don't even know what to say about what WWE is doing with Kross and Scarlett. Apparently both their contracts are up this month and they have not been re-signed. And man, people just want more and more from Kross. I don't know if WWE is going to give it to him. Stu, that felt like a see you later match. It really did.
I will put this match and Jelly Roll, Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, and Logan Paul were like contenders on the when I'm going to take a break and get something to eat or whatever match, because I couldn't care less about this storyline. I really couldn't. This is about Kross wanting Sami Zayn to admit that he's a bad guy, and Sami wants Kross to admit he was wrong. And I was like, why? Who cares? So in that respect, I don't mind that Sami won. It does seem a little like maybe this is a swan song. If Kross and Scarlett are done in WWE, you know they're going to get attraction from AEW, TNA, all the different organizations out there. It was a good match. It was fine, and you're not going to get a bad match out of Sami Zayn. That's just gospel. But I was just like, okay, I hope this is a blow off match, and I hope Sami Zayn can, maybe he'll hopefully start his quest that will end up with him winning the world title.
Yeah, Coach, this would have been a really intriguing storyline at the end if Cross would have won, and Sammy might have started being a bad boy a little bit, but didn't happen, man. And like I said, I hate to say it, but I feel like Cross is going to be done in WWE, and a lot of people are going to be ticked.
I don't know about a lot of people. Maybe just the internet wrestling community. I don't know if he really translates to the general consumer. I love him, but I kind of predicted that he was going to lose because I don't think there's just something amiss about him in WWE, because he's been around long enough for them to figure out a storyline, figure out a push. He's got one of the hottest women in the world with him that could easily draw eyes and attention, and just nothing's ever worked for him. AEW, TNA, the GCW, there's a lot of different organizations where he can come up with his creative. He can determine what he wants to get paid. So who knows? Maybe in the long run, he's going to be happier not being in WWE.
He has put out so many videos on his own that have been really good. And, I just feel like he may be an AEW guy, with how creative he is, and Tony's going to let him go a little bit. He may just be a better fit over there. And he and Scarlett are both terrific people. They really are. I've met them a few times, and, just absolutely love talking to those two. So we'll see what happens with Cross and Sammy. Is Sammy going to get a push for Royal Rumble? I don't know. Jesse Hyde in the chat box actually said maybe the Saudi just wants Sammy to win the Rumble to give them a WrestleMania after Vegas. Yeah, who knows? That's a possibility. We head into Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill. Coach, can I say what you did? Is it okay?
Yes. Yeah, please do.
Did you do it on betonline.ag?
Yeah, betonline.ag.
Yes.
Jade was minus 220 and Tiffy was plus 150. So I'm thinking to myself a lot of different things. I didn't think they would put the strap on Jade because she's she botches a lot. She's not the best on the mic. I also didn't think that WWE was progressive enough to have two African-American lady champions at the same time. So I tried to put all of my knowledge in, and at plus 150, Tiffy won. So I had a little bit of money on that match, and I want to thank our sponsors because I do check on that. Yeah, I was able to take my wife out to a nice dinner after SummerSlam, because on the West Coast, it ended at 6. So we went out for a nice dinner. Yeah, it was beautiful.
There you go. BetOnline.ag. And I'll just mention that real quick. If you go on markhokeshow.com, click on the banner and use the code BOL1000, you can get a 50% matching bonus up to $1,000, which is pretty good. And that's where you can bet on wrestling. We'll talk about the odds for tomorrow or for today a little bit later on. Stu, what did you think of this? Because I'm going to just say this. I see a lot of people were trashing this match online, but I really thought that other than that cover that Jade had that looked like she was going to win, I thought Jade did a pretty good job. I really did. I mean, short match, I think they set it up right, but I mean, a lot of people are hitting this match hard, but I really thought Jade looked pretty good.
It was a fine match. I think people are underwhelmed. And I don't quite know why, because if you look at these two women, both Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill, both of them less than 5 years experience in ring. You're not going to get the 7-star Tokyo Dome match out of them right now. That just ain't happening. I was a little surprised that they didn't put the belt on Jade, but I mean, was it a great match? No. Was it a good match? Sure, it was fine. I mean, It'll be interesting to see. I'm interested to see where Jade goes from here.
Yeah.
Tiffany's still going to have her challengers. There's going to be plenty of challengers. But I'll be really interested to see where they take Jade from here, because this felt like one of those where, and look, it's rumor, innuendo, it's, whatever. If you remember a few months ago, there was some talk about Jade maybe with a little bit of backstage heat or whatever. Could this have been a result of that? Seems like a little late, but oh well. But yeah, I'll be really interested to see what they do with Jade. But again, both these women, they're not long timers. They both came in after 2020. So I don't know what you're going to expect out of them. It was fine for what it was.
Yeah, I thought so too. So, but that will be fascinating to see where Jade Cargill goes from here, because of course she was supposed to be the hot thing when she came in, and having her lose at SummerSlam, I don't know how much that helps her. We go to Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul against Randy Orton and Jelly Roll. I want to give Jelly Roll his props. The guy drops 200 pounds and worked his butt off to get ready for this match. And, some celebrities, when they do matches, just kind of, go through the motions. Jelly Roll put the time in at least to get ready for this, and God bless him. And I hope that he's able to maintain his health. But some decent spots in this, but I wasn't excited about this match, and I'm still not that excited about it. Stu, I know I'm just going to let you roll on this because I know you are not a Logan Paul fan. But Logan looked good. Stu, I think you got to get over this Logan Paul hate a little bit.
No. Hold on. Let me clarify.
All right.
I've never said that Logan Paul wasn't skilled. He does a great job in the ring. I have no problem with Logan Paul's skills. I just have a problem with Logan Paul.
That's personal.
I don't know if it's the whole YouTuber thing, quick shotting into wrestling or whatever. I'm not a fan. There's Cardi B. I couldn't care less about Cardi B.
That open was terrible.
It was god awful. This match, it was. I was, usually when they have a celebrity in a match, usually the celebrity and whoever go over. That did not happen. It was McIntyre and Paul. Jelly Roll did make some decent spots. I like his Black Hole Slam, and I'm glad Michael Cole called it the Black Hole Slam. Shout out to Abyss. But this match just felt off. It was just, I don't know what they were planning with this match. I don't think they achieved it, other than Jelly Roll was involved. They got the eyes, again, celebrities over their own folk. They got the eyes on it. Okay, fine. But, I again, this was the match where go make a sandwich.
Coach, one interesting thing that happened at the post show, and I don't know if you watched it or not, but at the end of the post show, who was sitting out there for most of the time at the end of that show? It was Jelly Roll. The obsession with celebrities in WWE, man, I get it. I know what they're trying to do, but is it a good thing? Is this good for the viewers? I mean, like, Jelly Roll was fine, but you've got so many talented people on your roster that you could have put together a pretty cool match with that without Jelly Roll, like poor LA Knight, who now, after what happened with Seth Rollins, we realized that, he just got screwed on getting on the SummerSlam card. Is this the correct direction to go, Coach, with the celebs?
Well, I want to see Stu's face on this one, because this was my favorite match of the night.
Really? Wow.
Yes. I put that in the YouTube chat. Jesse Hyde is a very smart man as well. I didn't say finish. The finish of the Punk match was tremendous, but the overall match, this had it all. Stu, I love Logan Paul. He reminds me of, that high school quarterback jock who just talks crap all the time in the locker room. His ego is popping out of his head. Him and Drew bouncing off of each other throughout the week. And who took the bumps in the match? Jelly Roll. Now, Jelly Roll means a lot to a lot of people with his music, but he went in, and this was not just a spectacle. He took some huge bumps.
That is true.
He made some great moves. The story was tremendous in the match. The entrances were great. And who would have thunk it? The celebrity lost. It was something completely different than we're used to. And on top of that, he took the pin. When have you ever seen that in a WWE match?
Yeah, apparently, by the way, that finish got changed maybe even yesterday. That they changed that up to have Jelly Roll lose the match. Go ahead, Stu.
And that's fine. Hey, there are everybody has their own opinion. It's why I laugh when people gripe about Dave Meltzer giving his match ratings. It's one guy's opinion. He watches wrestling. He has his opinion. Guess what? I watch wrestling. I have an opinion. Mark Hoke has an opinion. He watches,
and it's usually right, by the way.
Coach Rosie. Okay, Mark. Coach Rosie watches wrestling. He has an opinion.
Yeah.
That's all that this is. We are giving our opinions. It's the same thing in sports radio. Someone may come on. Look, I'm in Austin. Sports radio here. If you're not talking about the Texas Longhorns 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, it's wrong. Same thing in Dallas. Shout out to my boys at 105.3 The Fan, an Odyssey station. Get it on the Odyssey app. Zach Walchuk, Bobby Belt, the fellas up there. Same thing up there. If you're not talking about the Dallas Cowboys 24/7, 365, it's wrong. But it's opinions. That's all we're doing. We're just lucky enough to have a mic in front of our face to air them. Whether you want to like them or not, that's up to you. If you don't like it, they don't have dials anymore, but change your presets. I don't know, but yeah, that's fine. I just wasn't impressed with that match, and I thought the match looked a little off, but it's fine what it did. And again, good on Jelly Roll. He did take some bumps, took some serious bumps, and I'll tip my cap to him. It's not something I would want to see every week.
Well, Jesse Hyde says to you, Stu Myrick, Travis who because Jelly Roll rules. There you go.
Oh, I'll take Jelly Roll over Travis Scott any day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Yeah, no doubt
about
that.
You and I are in agreement with that. Travis Scott should never be allowed near a wrestling ring ever again.
Well, apparently he's not going to be either. He's on the outs with WWE.
It's just fine by me.
Yep. All right, let's get a break in, and we get to the main event of the day. Whee! Lots of fun in that one. And what is the fallout from day one? We'll discuss it all here on the Mark Hoke Show, here on KDAWN 101.5 FM, Talk of Las Vegas. Stu Myrick from Sports Guys Talk of Wrestling, Coach Rosie from adfreeshows.com. We'll be right back.
Hey, Sean Hannity here with the only real estate team in your market that I recommend. I'm talking about the Brankus team of Keller Williams Realty, the Marketplace. Now, thanks for joining me today. And what do you tell someone that wants to rent a home instead of selling it?
Well, Sean, they should always gather all the facts and consider all the options. Sometimes renting the home is the right decision. And sometimes, especially after repainting, replacing landscaping and flooring, sometimes it's better to sell when the home's at peak condition. That's when they're going to get the highest price. I suggest we meet. This way we can discuss all the options. And remember, I do this free of charge. This way they can get all the facts and make a good, informed decision.
All right. Thanks for keeping us up to date. Call the Brinkus team today at 702-456-5959, online at thebrinkusteam.com. That's thebrinkusteam.com.
License number BS 16186. Call for details.
Popsicles, sprinklers, a cool breeze. Talk about refreshing. You know what else is refreshing this summer? A brand new phone with Verizon. Yep, get a new phone on any plan with Select Phone Trade-in and My Plan. And lock down a low price for 3 years on any plan with My Plan. This is a deal for everyone, whether you're a new or existing customer. Swing by Verizon today for our best phone deals. 3-year price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate only. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
If you didn't think skipping breakfast was a big deal, you'd be right. Before. But now, Wendy's has Buck Biscuits. We're talking sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, or even the Honey Buddy chicken biscuit for just $1 each. Seriously, you can get all 3 if you want. They're just $1, so you'll never skip breakfast again. If you're smart. Breakfast for $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Limit 5 qualifying items per transaction. Not valid in a combo while supplies last.
Empower.
Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads. Race car bobbleheads. Little chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
1015 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
And we're back on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 1015 FM, the talk of Las Vegas, talking some pro wrestling as we wrap up our recap of day 1 of SummerSlam. And boys, we get to the main event. And Stu, I am proud to say that we eventually figured out this whole thing a while ago once we got through the initial reports of Seth Rollins' knee injury. But CM Punk beats Gunther. Pretty good match, I thought. I love Gunther. I'm sorry. He's just like a monolith of humanity. Just fantastic, and beat the crap out of Punk for most of the match.
Monolith of humanity. You using that, those $5 words now. You got that word of the day calendar or something?
Well, I didn't go Leviathan or anything like that, so yeah. It's too early in the morning to do that stuff. Wow. But they had a half-hour match. And Punk was getting the crap beat out and managed to get Gunther out of the ring, and then got him on a table, and Gunther came up from under the table bloodied, and Punk took over from there, wins the title, crying in the ring. And then the music hits. And Seth Rollins is on his crutches with Paul Heyman and holding that Money in the Bank briefcase and starts yelling at Punk, and then turns around, crutches away for a little bit, and then drops the crutches, goes into the ring, destroys CM Punk, cashes in, and Seth Rollins does it again and walks out as World Heavyweight Champion. So the injury was either very minor or completely non-existent. Credit to Seth Rollins. Kayfabe was back for 5 weeks, baby, as he just went around everywhere on those crutches. It was fantastic work by Seth Rollins, and he is the new World Heavyweight Champion. Coach, what'd you think of the Punk Gunther match and the finish here?
I thought it was a little slow, the match. I can take a couple chops, but it would just chop, hit. I mean, it was physical. It was good, but the match really picked up in the last 3 or 4 minutes when the old Zipperoo came out, and he must have hit a gusher because that Crimson Mask was flowing, and I loved that. And obviously the end most of us had, but just the way that they executed it and performed it. And on behalf of all AEW fans, we thank you, Seth Rollins, for what you did to CM Punk. He does not deserve a title for what he did to AEW. So thank you very much, and screw CM Punk.
Wow. Nice. Coach Rosie stepping out. Stu, you like the whole thing? It was a great visual at the end. Seth Rollins dropping the crutches was cool.
Yeah, it was fine. There was word going around yesterday morning, midday, that Gunther may have an issue with his nose. They didn't say what it was. And there was speculation he may be taking some time off to address that issue, which was interesting considering, the spot where he goes on the announce table and then comes up bleeding. And I've heard, some people saying that was not real blood, but hey, it looked good. Looked like it was coming from his nose. He kept messing with it like it was broken or something, which, good storytelling. Punk gets the world title, and then here comes Seth. And it was, it was fine. I think most everybody expected it, but again, just because you expect it doesn't mean you don't enjoy it, which apparently everybody enjoyed it, so that's good. So now Seth's got the world title. We'll see how it goes. It does make, and I say that I heard a few people say it does make having Braun and Bronson lose at the top of the show intriguing. I think that was to to help throw the scent off, so to speak.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to me. How soon does Punk go after Seth?
Tomorrow?
Who else? Well, let's see. There's Punk. There's Sammy. There's Jay. There's when does Gunther get his rematch? There's again, like I said earlier, that main event picture is pretty crowded, and Seth is going to have plenty of challengers in the months to come.
Yeah, the one thing that I'm intrigued by, the reports were coming out that Gunther's going to have surgery on his nose. Where does this put Gunther? It's because I hate to say it, but I think he's going to get pushed down a little bit after this, because certainly this Rollins Punk feud is maybe all the way through WrestleMania. I mean, this has like Rock Cena type thing written all over it right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, in fact, I think you just voiced at least the night one main event for WrestleMania coming up in Las Vegas, if it's not night two. And I could argue this could be a night two main event.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So very interesting goings on at WrestleMania last night. We do have like 2 minutes, guys, and I did want to touch on this real quick. Did you notice the post-show format changed a little bit?
Yeah.
No more taking reporters' questions. Just kind of did a long post-show with everybody. And, I got to say, WWE likes to keep things under control. I don't blame them for that. I have no problem with them controlling the narrative how they want to do it. And I think that part of the problem was, too, is there were a lot of people in that room with no journalistic background that just asked some really stupid questions. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, I chuckle because the same thing can be said in AEW. There when I, at All In, there were some people in there have no business calling themselves media. And I saw a tweet from Sean Ross Sapp from Fightful that WWE is not doing standard post-show pressers for the foreseeable future. And then Graham Matthews from Wrestle Rant. There was no notice of this in the press box. They didn't know. There was no official word that presser wasn't happening. It just didn't happen. And I agree with you. Look, I think the pressers in WWE are probably a little more staged than AEW. They don't really add much. They don't really add much in AEW.
Well, I enjoy the AEW ones, but I can say this in AEW, that no one is telling us to ask any questions or anything like that.
That is correct.
Straight up, go in, sit down, and when you get your name called, you ask the question you want to ask. So can't say that about AEW for sure. All right, guys, let's get into hour number 2 coming up here. Oh, we got a SummerSlam night number 2. We got new champions all over the board on the indies and so much more. Oh, my God. It's just unbelievable. More Hulk Hogan news, too. So we'll try and hit as much as we can when we get back here for hour number 2 with Stu Myrick, Coach Rosie, and little old me, Mark Hoke. Stick around, everybody. And follow us on X at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, The Mark Hoke Show, YouTube, The Mark Hoke Show. Just search us. Go to markhokeshow.com. You'll find it all. We'll be right back for hour 2 in a little bit.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
By texting 26022, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Tax Lien Code. Message and data rates may apply. Terms apply. Available at taxliencode.com.
Imagine waking up and not needing to rush. No commute, no emails, no boss. Just coffee, sunlight, and the freedom to choose. That's the power of tax lien investing. It's been around for over 200 years, used by banks, hedge funds, and the wealthy. And now, finally, it's being taught right here in Las Vegas. It's secure, predictable, passive income backed by real estate and mandated by state law. And it pays you, sometimes 15 to 35% returns. You don't need to own property. You just need to see how it works and how to do it right. We've taught over 100,000 students, and we'll teach you for free at a live masterclass right here in Las Vegas. If you're ready to start building real wealth through tax lien investing, this is it. Text TICKET to 26022 to reserve your free seat. That's TICKET to 26022. But hurry, seats are limited. Text TICKET to 26022.
Hi, I'm Aaron Taylor, the real estate guy. At 15 years old, I was homeless with no guidance or education. I was sleeping in my car, scared and alone, wondering where my next meal would come from, an experience no child should ever endure. But I got through it, thanks to the generosity of thoughtful people just like you. Through hard work and faith, I built a successful life in real estate. Now in these later years of my career, I am using that success to focus on something far greater. I'm helping the children who are walking the same path that I once did. That's why I created Just One for One, because it only takes $1 per paycheck to make a difference. To a child, $1 can mean food, safety, and most of all, hope. Together, we could change the lives of the children that need it the most. Please visit justoneforone.org to make your donation today. That's justoneforone.org. Be the difference in a child's life today. Sponsored by Aaron Taylor, the real estate guy. Aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Popsicles, sprinklers, a cool breeze. Talk about refreshing. You know what else is refreshing this summer? A brand new phone with Verizon. Yep, get a new phone on any plan with Select Phone Trade-in and My Plan. And lock down a low price for 3 years on any plan with My Plan. This is a deal for everyone, whether you're a new or existing customer. Swing by Verizon today for our best phone deals. 3-year price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate only. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
KMXB HD3 Henderson, K268CS Las Vegas, 1015 FM KDAWN. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The president suggests a recess itinerary for the Senate's minority leader. On Jack Callahan, Fox News. Senators have hit the road for their August recess after failing to make a deal to advance dozens of the president's nominees. Fox's Madeline Rivera reports from the White House.
The Senate held a rare weekend session Saturday, hoping they can come up with a deal to advance some of President Trump's nominees. Senate Democrats wanted the White House to unfreeze federal funding to pass a small batch of the president's non-controversial nominees. But the president thought Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer was going too far. He told Republicans not to accept the offer, saying it is political extortion by any other name. Tells Schumer, who is under tremendous political pressure from within his own party, the radical left lunatics, to go to hell. Senate Majority Leader John Thune says while there were many offers made between him and Schumer, Democrats were too dug in. The Senate ended up holding rapid-fire votes on 7 nominees before leaving Washington until September.
Senate Minority Leader Schumer said the president threw in the towel instead of making a deal. Former special counsel Jack Smith, who tried to prosecute then-candidate Donald Trump, now finds himself the object of a special counsel investigation.
This after Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton saying, quote, I write requesting the Office of Special Counsel to investigate whether Jack Smith, special counsel for Attorney General Merrick Garland, unlawfully took political actions to influence the 2024 election to harm then candidate President Donald Trump. So while the specific scope of this investigation is not clear, it is expected the probe will look into whether Smith violated the Hatch Act during his criminal investigation into President Trump's handling of classified documents and alleged efforts to subvert the 2020 election. Trump pleaded not guilty in both of those cases that were ultimately dismissed following the 2024 election.
It's Fox's Chanley Painter. America is listening to Fox News.
Stay on top of the latest forecast with America's Weather Team in the palm of your hands.
Here's the latest from America's Weather Center.
It's Fox weather updates throughout your busy day, every day.
That heat's going to be out there for one more day.
Temperatures being 30 degrees above average.
Put the power of over 100 meteorologists and the worldwide resources of Fox in your hands with the Fox Weather Podcast. Precise, personal, powerful. Subscribe and listen now at foxnewspodcasts.com. Connect to Fox News Audio on the Fox News app. Listen to hear your favorite hosts like Brian Kilmeade, Jimmy Fallon, and Guy Benson standing up for what's right, live and via podcast. Just click listen, then swipe right and hear the latest news updates on your time. And scroll down to hear the latest podcasts from Fox News. And it's even easier to listen in the car with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Get programming alerts and notifications. Fox News Audio is on the Fox News app. The voices America trusts. Download it now.
Afternoons in Vegas are ruled by one radio show. It's the real, raw, and relevant talk found only on The Steve Sanchez Show. 3 to 6 p.m. on KDAWN, 101.5 FM, and on the Odyssey app.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Yeah, that's me. They haven't thrown me out of Odyssey yet. God bless them. Very happy to be with you today in the middle of SummerSlam. Day 1 complete. Day 2 coming at you later this afternoon. We'll be starting at 3 p.m. Pacific. The pre-show is probably already on the air.
What is it, Super Bowl Sunday?
Takes forever. But they're fun. They do a good job. But we're going to be taking a look at SummerSlam Day 2 in this part of the hour, plus a whole lot of news. Man, I was making a list, guys, and it's ridiculous. I don't know where to go, but we'll find a way to get through it. But let's talk about what's coming up today on SummerSlam. So here's your
Give me some odds. Give me some odds.
I've got them right here from betonline.ag, where you can get your sign up bonus of 50%.
Coach, I got to introduce you. There's a longtime colleague of mine did a high school football broadcast with me, Bucky Godbolt, and he's been known to lay a little money here and there and stuff. I think I need to introduce the both of you.
Yeah, please do.
Bucky was Bucky, among other things, he was a former running backs coach at Texas when Priest Holmes was there, and Ricky.
Really?
And Ricky.
Well, one of my players got an offer from UT. your NIL money is not as good as Indiana, Arizona, and other schools for basketball. So you need to up your basketball.
Yeah, we're not a basketball school.
I know.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Stu Myrick, Coach Rosie with me. So here's your betting odds. We'll just run it down for you while we talk about the card. U.S. Championship in a steel cage. It is going to be Solo Sikoa defending against Jacob Fautu. Fautu is a minus 160. Solo is just a plus 120. So fairly split on that. Also split on the women's Intercontinental Championship match, which is going to be a, let's see, we got no disqualification, no count out, last chance match. So if Lyra loses, she cannot challenge for the title as long as Becky is the champion. Valkyria is a slight favorite, minus 140. Becky Lynch plus 100. So pretty tight on that one. Women's World Championship on the line, and I can't wait for this one. Naomi defends against Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, so we're sort of kind of running back WrestleMania a little bit, substituting Naomi for Bianca Belair. Naomi is a minus 3,000 on this. 3,000.
I wonder who everybody thinks is going to win.
There may be some money making potential on this one. Rhea Ripley plus 500, Io Sky plus 750. So you can throw a little coin on that. The WWE Tag Team Championship is on the line in a 6-man tables, ladders, and chairs match. I can't wait for this fiasco. It is going to just get crazy out there. It is the Wyatt Six defending against Andrade and Rey Fenix, Fraxium, DIY, the Street Profits, and the Motor City Machine Guns, who, by the way, should have been on the WrestleMania card. Wyatt Six is a minus 115. Andrade's team is plus 150. Fraxium plus 400. DIY plus 1,000. Street Profits plus 1,000. Motor City Machine Guns plus 1,000. And then we have the
Street Profits are plus 1,000?
That is correct.
And they're champs.
No, it's Wyatt's.
No. Yeah, Wyatt's are the champs. That's what
Wyatt's are the champs. And then we have the WWE Undisputed Championship on the line. John Cena, Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is a minus 250 to take out Cena, who is a plus 170. We'll talk about the Cena Rhodes match, but I just want to generally talk about the other 5 matches. What are you guys most looking forward to on this card? All championships on the line today, so no non-title matches for day 2 of SummerSlam. Stu Myrick, how about that?
Yeah, that's the first thing I noticed was the fact that all the entire card today is all title matches. So that's kind of cool. The TLC match should be just car crash TV in the greatest form. Especially you look at, the likes of Andrade and Rey Fenix. Rey Fenix knows how to do car crash TV.
Yes, he does.
I've seen it live and in person. So that one will be a lot of fun. The steel cage match with Solo and Jacob, that'll be interesting. I do wonder. I don't want to look again. So Jacob, if you look at the odds, the money is lying on Jacob more, which I got to be honest, I think I might take Solo in this one.
Me too.
I don't know. There's something about it that just, that seems he'll retain. And then, of course, the main event, Cena and Rhodes. By the way, we have not mentioned Friday night on SmackDown.
Yep, I was getting to that.
Okay. Well, I'll let you get to it then. You get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Okay.
I'm pumped about the TLC match, and I think the Women's World Championship match is going to be a blast. The match at WrestleMania, it was Bianca Belair in there instead of Naomi, but you're not really losing anything with Naomi in this match. I think that's going to be an incredible match to watch. I wouldn't be shocked if that's the opener today, Coach.
Yeah, probably. I'm a fan today. I'm not looking at this journalistically or opinion. Cody's got to win back to title. It's going to be the last match my son and I watch together before he goes off to college. So, man, I really hope Cody wins. But the match I'm looking most forward to is the cage match with Solo and Jacob. I think that's going to be a great match with multiple run-ins and swerves. But in that Cody match, I hope there's a double turn.
And yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. One thing though with Becky and Lyra, that's going to be a pretty good match too. But God, why don't they just put Becky with Seth at this point? And have them be the irritating couple along with that. Because I mean, look, Becky's the man; she can handle things. Look at what Marina Shafir did with the Death Riders. Becky would fit right in with that group. I honestly hope she wins, and I would love to finally see WWE put a female in a major group.
But okay, Marina Shafir with the Death Riders, okay, but she's not married to one of the Death Riders. She's married to Roderick Strong. So
yeah, which makes this even better.
No, doesn't. Becky and Seth, they've tried it before, and it kind of fell flat on.
Oh well, that feud with Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans, it was terrible. That was terrible, and they were just dating at the time too. It was so awkward for them. It was so awkward for them because they didn't want that out there. Now they're married, and they're like they put it out all the time. Go for it. You already
got Seth, Braun, and Braun, and Paul Heyman. So why disturb that just to put his wife with him?
Just to make the new dangerous alliance, like Medusa, and put Becky in there.
Maybe
and get Becky to beat Tiffy, and then get the Bronze to win the tag titles, and then you got the most powerful faction in WWE.
There you go, Coach.
Maybe.
Thank you.
I don't know.
I think it would be all right.
Interesting that the betting odds are leaning towards Lyra winning.
Yeah,
because I think this is a slam dunk. Becky retains.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's so tight. So we'll see what happens there. But this is going to be a good one. But of course, we get to the main event, and what Stu was referring to earlier was on Friday night, John Cena cut a babyface promo saying some people talk me into doing stuff to make good TV, and I don't want a part of that anymore. You're Cody Rhodes. You're going to get the real John Cena. Are you buying this load of BS, guys? Are you buying it?
Apparently,
Coach,
you're not.
Do you think that John Cena all of a sudden is going to be back to the angel that we all know and love?
As much as I'd like to, like I said, I love the double turn, but I don't think they're going to ditch the idea this early. I think it'll be like the fourth quarter, like maybe in November or October, where he switches back. But Cody still needs to be a baby face, and I hope he wins. But if John does win, it's going to create a lot of who's next, because who could really, with the star power, beat John Cena to win the title besides maybe a Braun Breaker or unfortunately, Stu, I'll say it, Logan Paul,
I got a better name, Coach. I got a better name. The Rock. No. The match, one thing you've got to remember down the road is that Survivor Series is going to be at Petco Park. So they're going baseball stadium on this. It's not John's retirement match, but it's fairly close. I can see a scenario where they set up Cena and The Rock. If John is still the champion, Rock could win the title and Cody Rhodes could finish the story out with The Rock and get his revenge at WrestleMania. That's where I feel like this is going to go. I mean, you've got to have a huge match to sell out Petco Park. You really do. And Rock and Cena would fit that bill. But back to what's happening right now, Stu, now that I may have put some doubt in your mind, what do you think is going to happen tonight?
Man, I do not agree with the double turn. It is not time. Cody Rhodes does not need to be a heel. You don't do heel turns for the sake of doing heel turns. There's no purpose. And Cody is selling way too much merchandise, and he's got too much goodwill. It's kind of the same seat, ironically, that John Cena was in 10 years ago. So you don't do it. There was, in fact, I saw a picture. Cody posing with the Rhodes brothers, with Wayne and Wyatt, who, of course, I know personally. I called their very first match at the Rhodes Wrestling Academy. Dustin's nephews as well. And their mom, Kristen, former Dallas Cowboys cheerleader, by the way. No, you don't turn Cody heel. It is not time. As far as the title change goes, I really hope The Rock does not decide to go back in the ring. I said it in April. I've been saying it forever. The Rock needs to just stay away. He's got his movie coming out, that the movie about the MMA fighter. Let him be busy with that. Do not get him involved in WWE again. At least now, not in that realm. Put him in the Hall of Fame, that's fine, but no, don't do it. It's just as far as the heel turn or the babyface turn for John Cena, I got a feeling it's a swerve. It does feel a little early for him. He's got to turn babyface before the end of the year, because you're not going to have someone like that retire as a heel. You got to let him turn babyface so the crowd can give him his flowers. I'm thinking Cody wins tonight.
Yeah, it's gonna be intriguing this evening. But like I said, I think that the only, you guys were talking about John Cena, becoming a babyface again. Well, what would be the motivation for him to become a babyface again? Who would?
He's retiring.
Well, he's retiring, but I'm just saying in the storyline, what would cause him to switch? And the only other person that could turn on him at this point is Dwayne. I mean, I know what you're saying. I don't want The Rock anywhere near it either, but I think that's what they're going to do.
I was so happy that he threw Rock and Travis Scott under the bus. I thought that was brilliant, and I couldn't agree more. They had no business being in that. It probably should have never happened to begin with. But I was happy when John Cena said that. I'm going, oh yes, absolutely, throw them under the bus. They deserve it.
Yeah. See, I just think the whole thing was a swerve. But Jesse Hyde, by the way, chat box saying, I think Cody win, but not turn heel.
I agree with you, Jesse.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is going to be intriguing tonight. I'm fascinated to see what they do, and especially after what happened at WrestleMania with the match being not very critically acclaimed, shall we say?
It stunk.
They're gonna go out. They are gonna try and go out and put on a hell of a show tonight. And I think tonight the fans are gonna win. I think so. This day of SummerSlam. Yesterday was kind of okay with a big moment at the end. This one, top to bottom, I think is going to be just war after war after war. But John Cena, Cody Rhodes, man, I think this is more wide open than what the betting odds are putting out there. So we'll see what happens with that tonight. This kind of links back to something that I got to watch on TV this week. I took the time to watch WWE Unreal. And we're going to talk about some of the fallout from that, and how it related to what happened yesterday and what's going to happen today too. Interesting show, guys. So we're going to talk about Unreal and a whole lot more when we come back here on the Mark Hoke Show. Stick around, everybody.
Summer is coming soon, and Air Supply is here to help. If you're looking to upgrade your air conditioning system, you should always get 3 bids. And remember, Air Supply will beat any written quote by 10%, or we'll give you $100 cash on the spot. Call us today at 702-328-0888 or visit airsupply.vegas. At Air Supply, you can always expect a higher level of service. Call 702-328-0888 or visit airsupply.vegas. Terms and conditions apply.
Goodwill of Southern Nevada believes everyone who wants to work should have a chance to reach their full potential. When you donate or shop at Goodwill, you support a local nonprofit that provides free career services to our neighbors so they can learn the skills to get employed. Learn how your Goodwill works for our community at goodwillvegas.org, sponsored by Goodwill of Southern Nevada in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more, 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
1015 FM KDAWN.
This is the Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
We're back on the Mark Hoke Show. Oh my God, the stuff that you see on X, guys. I know I'm not even going to get into it. Not even going to get into it. So bad. But I did see somebody who's trying to report that Brock Lesnar is going to show up tonight. We'll see what happens with that. That would be interesting.
Oh dear Lord. Drugs and social media do not mix.
Yeah. Well,
especially this early.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about WWE Unreal. And first, did both of you guys get a chance to watch it?
Not yet. I haven't.
5 stars.
Okay,
5
Coach.
stars.
You know, Stu, I'm sure you've seen clips of flying around and all that.
Of course.
A lot of people were critical of this show that they claimed that, well, it showed too much. I don't think it did. The processes that were taking place, got into a little bit of into detail, but I don't think that it really, showed us anything we didn't know in terms of booking. I thought the fun part with the booking stuff, to be honest with you, was, it's just a bunch of guys sitting around a room firing some ideas at each other. They're really, really good at executing them when they decide what they're going to do. But I didn't think it was that part of it was that big of a deal. I thought, to me, and Coach, you'll be able to speak to this a little bit more, is it really delved into just how hard and stressful it is to be a performer at that level in a WWE or an AEW. A lot of reinforcement being done by Triple H to everybody when they're coming in and out of their matches. Rhea Ripley was a wreck a couple of times in that show. And she's just the sweetest person in the world. I mean, you look at CM Punk, who was breaking down in tears about doing that main event, and he was panicking. And Stu, it was funny. You guys talked about the first Cody Cena match, and everybody was getting all this reaction and stuff, like the WrestleMania women's match. Oh, that was incredible, blah blah blah. And the comments about that match when they got back to Gorilla was, it did what we needed to do. I was like, oh wow. But I think Stu, you can speak to this as someone who's on the radio. You and I, while we're not performing in front of 70,000 people or anything like that. But, you know, one thing that I try not to think about before I go on the air is I'm in a metroplex of 3 million people, right? I don't know how many people for sure are listening to this show between that and the digital and everything else. I mean, there could be 100,000 people right now that, you know, we're performing for essentially. Stu, you've been on the radio a long time, and, you know, you're in Austin, a huge, huge market down there. The pressure on these performers really showed through on this show. And it's got to be something really, a real burden and a real nerve just destroying thing when you know that you got to go out in front of that many people plus millions watching on TV and do your job.
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
I've been lucky enough, you know, with, you know, being associated with Dustin Rhodes. I've been lucky enough to be backstage at AEW events, and it's that atmosphere. I mean, look, even Dustin, and I love Dustin. I've known Dustin for years. I love him to death. Dustin gets nervous. I mean, and he's been doing this for, you know, almost 40 years. He gets nervous, and you see, you know, in backstage. You know, you mentioned about Triple H, you know, doing the reaffirming. That was one of the things I always noticed being backstage at AEW. Tony Khan is moving at breakneck speed, but he's hitting everybody. He's talking to everybody. Make sure they're okay. Make sure everything's good. And it's a, you know, it's a collaborative type of environment there. At the same time, yes, they all want to be the best. They all want to do their, you know, have their 5-star match. It's interesting, and it's one of those atmospheres where I think, and then this is kind of where WWE and AEW are probably similar, because it's pro wrestling, and backstage pro wrestling, you're going to have kind of the same environments, and to get to peek behind the curtain. And I've heard the complaints about it's, you know, it's revealing too much or whatever. And I haven't seen the show yet. I'm going to watch it probably in the next couple of days. Look, WWE is not going to reveal everything they want to that they do, because there's no, you know, it's WWE. But, you know, so they're going to show what they want us to show.
Right.
What you know, we're going to see what WWE wants us to see. So, yeah.
It certainly made Triple H look good. I will give him that. But Coach, one thing that I wanted to throw out there is it got into Charlotte Flair's story a little bit in one episode. And that woman has been through so much in the past year and a half between the injury. They were showing, you know, footage of her having surgery on that knee and her comeback and the whole thing that happened with the Tiffany Stratton promo and her getting booed out of the building in Chicago and losing it. And you could just see how sad she was, you know, and we kind of knew that to a point, because Charlotte doesn't crack, but she cracked in Chicago. And then to see her come back last night and actually be smiling and happy, you know, that really made me feel good for her, you know, for Ashley, not Charlotte Flair, but Ashley Flair, to overcome all of what she did and actually feel like, hey, you know what? I actually enjoy doing this and I'm damn good at it. And, you know, she remembered, I think, last night.
Yeah, wisdom comes with age. I think as we get older, our priorities kind of change. And just think of her last 10, 12, 11 years since she's been in the business. She has dealt with the death of family members. She's dealt with her father's sickness. She's dealt with personal issues in relationships, and all that. On top of that, being the best women's wrestler in the world. Talk about stress. You're facing it from every angle. There are no let-ups of stress in Charlotte's life or Ashley's life. But now she feels free. And she's getting her flowers, because a lot of people thought that, she's only around because of Rick and this and that. No, she is by far a champion in her own right. And she's being what she wants to be, instead of trying to fit an image and be this iron, no emotion person and just gutting it out and just moving from town to town. She's taking the time to look back at her life. And like I said, as you get older, your priorities change and you learn from the experiences that you've gone through. Why would you want to feel that way? Well, she's learning that she doesn't have to feel that way and enjoying her passion.
Yeah. And she had especially that first marriage, it was just a disaster. And, being Ric Flair's daughter adds to the pressure. Stu, you could probably, the Rhodeses very well. I mean, the pressure of being Dusty's family, heavy pressure on that to try and fill those shoes. And you see it all over the industry now. So many second, third generation wrestlers are out there. But I was really happy for her last night, personally. It was good to see, and I think you'll pick that up as you watch that show, Stu. But you could speak to that about with the Rhodeses, about how hard it is to be the kids of the superstar.
It is, and yeah, in what you said about Charlotte Flair, we saw it last night in that match, and you're right. When you come, you're in the family of, someone that is so well known, and I mentioned Wayne and Wyatt, the Rhodes brothers, Dustin and Cody's nephews, I guess they're now Dusty's grandsons. I will give Kristen, their mother, all the credit in the world, because I think she does a great job of keeping them grounded. And she knows pressure of being in the spotlight. Like I said, she was a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader for a while, so that helps. Ross and Marshall Von Erich, another two, and I've been lucky enough, I've gotten to know them over the years. They live in the hill country here in Central Texas, and again, that family is so close knit with Kevin, and there's a good chunk of that family that lives on that Von Erich Ranch in Burn.
They all moved out there.
So, and I can speak to Ross and Marshall because, again, I've gotten to know them. They understand where they are. They understand who they are, and they keep their principles. They keep their self-centered. And it's hard to do, but they have found a way to do it, and that's what makes them such incredible human beings. On top of being great wrestlers, they're even better human beings. Ross Martin, I love them to death, and they're fantastic. They'll greet me with a hug and everything. And I just saw them, a couple weeks ago at StarCast, leading it all in. In fact, they had the table right next to Wayne and Wyatt. So it was so great, so they're right next to each other at StarCast. So, two sets of brothers that I have been lucky enough to get to know, and I can call them friends, and they're wonderful. And that having that name is going to be pressure, but I think with the right grounding principles and those that ground you and those individuals in your life, they can make it through.
Yeah. And I mean, that's one thing that I would encourage you, if you haven't watched WWE Unreal yet, or you're going to go back and watch it again, pay attention to more of the personal stuff than the all the booking things. Because that was a lot of interesting stuff, and the story behind Elimination Chamber is there, and the Cody Cena match. But watch the discussions about, like Bianca Belair making her own ring gear and all that kind of stuff. And Rhea Ripley, just being so vulnerable. And you look at her and, like I said, I've had the chance to meet her. A lot of people haven't, and would just think, oh, Rhea Ripley's got to be the most confident woman in the world. Why wouldn't she be? Oh my God, she's a wreck leading up to these matches. I mean, she was a wreck. And that's okay. I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying she's human. And you'll see a lot of that when you watch WWE Unreal. I enjoyed it a lot. And, you know, you can get past some of the, hey, we're WWE, we're awesome kind of thing. Like Abyss, too. Poor Abyss. You know, Pritchard's
What do you mean, poor Abyss? Bruce he's coaching him up. Coaching him up.
Coaching him up. He was giving him crap unnecessarily. It was Netflix. It went on minute 45 long on Netflix. Who cares? Come on.
I heard this a long time ago, and it stayed with me. If you're nervous, it means you care. And
right.
That's the truth.
Yeah. So I would tell everybody, check out Unreal. It was pretty cool. Now I wanted to talk a little bit real quick about with Hulk Hogan. Some more news came out about him that, and this was really sad. And if you did not know this or catch this story, and let me just pull it here real quick. I gotta get my story notes out of the way. That Hogan, not only it was official that he did have a heart attack and that was what killed him, but the other part of this story was he had cancer, guys. He had what is called chronic lymphocytic leukemia, which was a rare type of cancer that affects white blood cells called lymphocytes. So Hogan was not only dealing with all the surgeries, and everything, all the pain that he was in, but he had cancer too. Wow.
And he kept that to himself.
Yep.
I spoke with Eric. He didn't know anything about it.
Really?
Didn't know that he had cancer at all.
That's incredible. Well, and another thing that's come out about Hogan too is there have been a lot of people that really now are telling stories about him that completely contradict the race. He's a tried and true racist. He said what he said. It was dumb stuff to say, no question about it. But guys like Coco Beware, Stevie Ray, Booker T, Tony Atlas, Devon Dudley, Teddy Long have all come out and said, look, Hogan was really helpful to me. And, I don't have time to get into all the stories, but, it's interesting that all this stuff with the cancer and all these other stories are coming out now after Hogan passed away, where, you might have thought the way people talked about Hulk that he would have been bragging about this stuff, and he never said a word. He never said a word, Stu.
Yeah. Look, it's look, we know how these things usually go. And it's not just, Hogan, it's throughout sports. It's throughout pop culture. I remember, what was it? 2 or 3 years ago, Kyle Larson drives number 5 for NASCAR in the Cup Series. He had gotten, there was something came out about he used a racial slur or something, and it affected him. And NASCAR actually, I think they took him off the track for a little bit.
Yeah, they did.
He wasn't long, but it was there. We all know social media will latch on to social media is one of those things. It's supposed to help everybody and lift everybody up, but instead, quite often, they will latch on and drag you down to the depths. And look, I'm not a fan of what Hogan did.
Nobody is.
I don't think anybody is. I don't. But I can put it in perspective. I can understand that. Yeah, maybe it was a. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate as to what happened that led to those incidents. All I can say is, with the positiveness that has come out since his passing, you kind of have to look at it and say, okay, well, maybe he wasn't as horrible as some people might think.
Yeah, you think. Now I haven't listened to what Jim Cornette said, because I know he did a summary about Hulk Hogan on his show about a week ago or so. But you listen to Jim Cornette and you think he was a lying scumbag, and it was just the worst person on earth to work with and everything else.
Well, to be fair, Cornette thinks everybody's that way. So
yeah, that is true. That is true. Well,
again, there are certain individuals, and I have all the respect in the world for Jim Cornette, but sometimes
I do too.
You got to take what some people say with a grain of salt.
Yeah, that's an understatement with Mr. Cornette, that's for sure. But there was another thing that happened at SummerSlam too, somewhat related to this. That Triple H went to the White House to help introduce the presidential physical fitness test, which is a PE major in college, along with my history and coaching. I am so happy that they're doing that. The presidential physical fitness test was a huge tool. Well, social media jumped all over Triple H for going to the White House, and they booed the segment at SummerSlam. Coach, they booed the presidential physical fitness test of ceremony. Really?
Those are probably all the nerds that didn't get the ribbons and certificates that we got in school for doing the right stretches and the number of pull-ups. That was memorable back in the 80s. I mean, they'd put your name on the wall. I'm happy it's back. Physical fitness, instead of these phones and video games, needs to come back.
Well, and
were they booing the physical fitness, or were they booing Trump? I mean,
they were booing them all. There are comments out there that are saying, once again, it goes back to some of these goofballs on X that were saying things like, well, you're giving your money to WWE, well, you're giving it to MAGA and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, oh my God. What somebody said about Nick Hogan, who was there, and I don't remember that they put the camera on him and he put his hands in kind of a prayer thing and acknowledged the crowd. Someone said, oh, Nick Hogan's going to become a prayer warrior. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, exactly. What would be wrong if he did? But geez, guys, I don't know. Maybe it's just a New York crowd, but I just wanted to bury my head. I'm like, come on, man. Can't we all just forget about this stuff and celebrate the good and that's been going on? Please, Stu.
I've made my feelings about the current administration known. I live in an area that is, very, 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 very much leans against it, and I get it. I don't go to the extremes, though. Look, people criticize. It's so funny, and Mark, you may have gotten this. I don't know. They criticize those of us that cover pro wrestling for covering WWE just because of their history with Trump, and I get that. It's like, well, hold on. They're wrestling, just like AEW, just like TNA, just like the NWA, just like Major League Wrestling, just like New Japan. They're wrestling. So it's kind of like if someone would criticize me for covering the Cowboys back in the day, just because Jerry Jones, is who he is. It's like, well, but that's part of what I was supposed to do. I work for a sports radio station in the capital of the state of Texas, in Austin, Texas. It is predominantly Cowboys country. We carried the Cowboys games. So yeah, I carry, political leanings have nothing to do with what guys like you and me, like with what we cover, with what we, who we cover. We cover what happens,
right?
Whether it leans one way or the other. Simple as that.
Well, I do blame you for covering the Cowboys because they are the team of the devil, and you should never have done that, Stu.
They're not the team of the devil. They're just not going to be the very good.
It
can't
happens.
figure out who's running back. Although Jaden Blue, lifetime Longhorn, apparently impressing in camp. So,
yeah. By the way, Jesse Hyde in the chat box said that Dallas better free Micah. We'll see if that happens.
No.
Get him up here in Philly, man. Get him here in
Payne.
Philly. Send him now.
No.
We'll trade a couple draft picks for Micah Parsons. Anyway, so when we wrap up, a lot of title changes. Bloodsport had a pretty cool main event as well. And someone got lit on fire. Oh, unbelievable stuff going on in the world of pro wrestling. Stick around. Stu Myrick, Coach Rosie, Josh Rosenbaum, myself, Mark Hoke, bringing you the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment, guys. We'll be right back.
Hey, Chuck, when I apply for a signature loan, how long does it take to get the money?
Right away with our instant funding. Look, if you have an active debit card, we can just drop that money right into your account immediately. This is really handy when you're getting funded online at don'tbebroke.com. And of course, if you're in one of our 60 locations across the country, you can leave with the cash in hand up to $5,000.
So you get your money right away, but how long does the whole process take?
It takes about 30 minutes to process and fund your loan. Bring in your ID and some paperwork, and it's free to apply.
Thanks, Chuck. Dollar Loan Center has over 60 locations, or you can go to don'tbebroke.com and get fully funded from the comfort of your smartphone. New customers enjoy 1 week free interest, and you can get up to $5,000 in minutes.
Subject to approval, limitations may apply. See website for details.
Empower. Jen has ordered a decadent seafood tower, king crab legs, lobster tails, and a waterfall of caviar. Pricey? You bet. But Jen worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy and planned for splurges like these. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Ooh, champagne. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OMG, those shrimps are really jumbo.
Popsicles, sprinklers, a cool breeze. Talk about refreshing. You know what else is refreshing this summer? A brand new phone with Verizon. Yep, get a new phone on any plan with Select Phone Trade-in and My Plan. And lock down a low price for 3 years on any plan with My Plan. This is a deal for everyone, whether you're a new or existing customer. Swing by Verizon today for our best phone deals. 3-year price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate only. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
If you didn't think skipping breakfast was a big deal, you'd be right. Before. But now, Wendy's has Buck Biscuits. We're talking sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, or even the Honey Buddy chicken biscuit for just $1 each. Seriously, you can get all 3 if you want. They're just $1, so you'll never skip breakfast again. If you're smart. Breakfast for $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Limit 5 qualifying items per transaction. Not valid in the combo while supplies last.
1015 FM KDAWN.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
All right, let's wrap this thing up. Best in pro wrestling news and entertainment worldwide, because we're awesome. Stu Myrick, Coach Rosie, joining me on the Mark Hoke Show. I got to remind everybody real quick, by the way, if you need any screen printing work done, embroidery, you need your logo on something, there's only one guy to call, and that's Mike Franco at Off Grid Creations. Give him a buzz at 661-300-1115, and he will give you a free brand consultation. He'll stay on the phone as long as he needs to. We'll work nationwide. So once again, please check out Off Grid Creations at off-gridcreations.com. Phone 661-300-1115. 661-300-1115. All right, guys, out there otherwise from SummerSlam, it was a very busy day yesterday in the world of pro wrestling. And I got to love that everybody's kind of coming together. It is so cool. So here's what we had. MJF won the CMLL Junior Heavyweight Championship yesterday. So Maxwell Jacob Friedman has a CMLL title. The WWE ID tournament has wrapped up, and your winners, which, you know, I slightly disagree with who they picked, but Kylie Ray is the winner on the women's side. And then on the men's side, well, Cappuccino Jones, he's pretty good. He's not as good as Ice Williams, but he's pretty good. Wins that title over Jack Cartwheel for WWID's tournament. So now whoever that title is going to stay on the indies, and whoever wins the championship next gets a WWE contract. So there's going to be a lot on the line, and a lot of people, I'm sure WWE will have some say on how those go. We also yesterday saw Bully Ray at the House of Glory wins the championship there over Zillafau 2, and Ricochet helped out. Are you kidding me? So Bully Ray has got the House of Glory title, and then we also had Natty beating Masha Slamovich in the main event at Bloodsport yesterday. God, where would you start on all that? But you know, I'm happy for Natty. I'm waiting for Natty to show up in WWE. But a lot of crazy stuff going on out there, fellas. Coach, what'd you think of all this?
Just makes wrestling more fun. The more we have, the more options, the more different styles we see. Bloodsport's something we don't get to see very often, 3 or 4 times a year, so that's always great. TNA is doing great. Everyone's doing great, which makes the wrestling industry that much stronger. And the ID program, I was rooting for the flippy kid, the cartwheel kid.
Hey, cartwheel,
he's good.
Yeah, he's
I
pretty
like
good.
him. But you know, there's just so many more options for people to make their dreams come true. So what's wrong with that? If they can make a go of it, and if these little organizations or mid organizations can make some money off of it, wrestling is universal. I mean, different parts of the country have different style of indies, have different style of matches. It brings communities together. I know next weekend, Jeff Jarrett is doing a fundraiser in a middle school gym, old school style, and all the money is going to be going to the sports programs at that school. So more power to them. If they can make a go of it, I'll show up and watch them.
Stu, any of those stand out to you there?
Not really. You know, Bully Ray winning the House of Glory was a crown jewel championship or something like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting. Of course, you know, hear Bully Ray on Busted Open with my longtime dear friend Dave LaGreca and Mark Henry, by the way. Mark, I'm fascinated with Mark because he does that show. He also does it's called The Morning Kickoff, which you hear on AM 1300 The Zone here in Austin with Mike Harge, a former radio colleague of mine doing sports talk. So he's kind of bouncing back and forth. But yeah, that one's interesting. Look, on my show, I finish up with what's happening in independent wrestling in the state of Texas. And I always tell people, wherever you may be, go out and support independent wrestling. I promise you, you will enjoy it. By the way, Rhodes Wrestling Association, August 17th, you can catch it on Twitch. Just search Rhodes Wrestling Association. Got a great card. Jesse Funaki is coming in. Of course, son of Funaki. Of course, Vert Vixen, the current women's champion, who just had a tryout with WWE. She'll be there. It's going to be a fun card. Check it out. If you're in the Austin area, you'll be at the RWA Bullpen in Leander. So check it out.
One guy that didn't have a good day on the Indies was a gentleman by the name of John Wayne Murdoch at the Juggalo Championship Wrestling event that they had over the weekend. John Wayne did a spot where he got thrown into some fire and it did not go out on his body. He was engulfed in flames and they were trying to put it out. Fire spots, guys, on the independent scene. Coach, should they be thrown in the trash can?
Hey, man, the guy's just trying to get over. Give him a break.
Just trying to get over.
Yeah. No, but fire is a little extreme.
Yeah, we don't. No fire extinguishers there, Stu. What were they doing?
I don't. So those are dangerous. I saw a picture. Apparently, a fan got hit with a shard from someone busted a light tube, and a fan got cut up. Look, I get it. I've been to death matches before. I've called death matches before. I get it, but you gotta ensure that you're gonna keep the fans safe. Just because the wrestlers sign on for it doesn't mean the fans do. So you got to keep those things safe. And yeah, the fire spot thing, those are always just, it's just, there are so mmany things that can go wrong.
Yeah. Well, we hope that John Wayne Murdoch is okay after getting turned into a s'more but hopefully he's doing all right. That was something else. Check it out. I think I've got that on my X account at Mark Hoke Show. And that's going to do it for us, guys. What a fun show as we get ready for night 2 of SummerSlam coming up. That is 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern, but we don't care about the East Coast at the moment. All we care about is the West Coast.
And
Central. Who?
And
Where?
Central and Mountain.
Oh, you don't count.
Stop it.
But yeah, hey, I hope we have a great time watching SummerSlam tonight. Follow us on X at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook and YouTube, The Mark Hoke Show, and check out markhokeshow.com, including getting that code for betonline.ag. You can follow Stu Myrick at Stu Myrick, STEWMYRICK, and Coach Rosie at Real Coach Rosie, and ad-free shows. Guys, thanks a lot. Great show. Appreciate it. We will see you
guys.
We'll see you all next week, and we'll be talking SummerSlam Night 2 and a whole lot more. Have a great day, Las Vegas. Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show, and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.